This is a ginormous Dell Workstation. Hello YouTube. Today we're going to play around with this and kind of torture it. There's a lot of things that these workstations can do, but today I am going to play with one of those things as deeply as possible. So let's go and get this thing open real quick. Alright, yeah, this thing barely fits on my table. So you can see here, mine is a single CPU configuration, and it's not really a special configuration up here. Got an 8-core, 16-thread CPU, 32 gigs of DDR4 ECC, which is worth a fortune now. I might as well sell it and go buy a car. Anyway, this one does have one special quirk though. Let me pull out the power supply from the bottom. A lot of these computers have like a 430 watt power supply or something like that. Even these workstations, but this one, it's got the big boy, the 825. And that gives you one big advantage. With this much larger power supply, right, a lot of these only have like one 6-pin in them, or sometimes even no PCIe power. But this one, you get two full 8-pins. And while that's not a lot by, you know, modern gaming computer standards, for workstation cards, that's quite a bit. Especially because these often use these little dinky adapters to go from one 8-pin to two 6-pins. And here I have two. And there's a lot of workstation GPUs that only need one 6-pin, which means that theoretically I could run 4 GPUs. And boy, have I got something to show you guys. I have a large variety of PCIe devices, some of which are, you know, NICs, old GPUs or whatever. But I also managed to, you know, for one, I still have this guy. This is a 6750 XT. We're going to mess around with this guy in there. But I also managed to get my hands on something else. Well, 5 something else's. These. Let's get all this crap out of here. So this top card here, this is what originally came out of this computer. This is an RTX 4000. Do not confuse this with anything newer than the 20 series, because there is like a 4000 ADA, which is actually like a really powerful card. No, this is from the 20 series. This has 8 gigs of VRAM, and it does actually have, you know, proper RT cores and tensor cores. This thing is going to be fun to mess around with. And then I've got 4 P4000s. 8 gigs of VRAM each, and these are all from Pascal, you know, with the little P. And so today, we're going to torture a workstation. First, I'm going to go back to this computer's original configuration here. So it had this Quadro RTX 4000. That was violent, but it's in there. Now we close this. There we go. Now our NVIDIA RTX 4000 is in there. We go ahead and just plug in our singular 8-pin PCIe power connector. And we need a drive for this. And I don't really have any sitting around, sadly. I have a plan. I still have this guy kicking around. Well, I mean, this video is going to come out in probably like March. And I'm filming this in January, but anyway, we're just going to ignore that. Actually, yeah, at this time, the Keychron keyboard review still hasn't came out. And there we go, there's a 500 gig drive that we're just going to kind of harvest. Ka-ching. Alright, there we go. Now we just kind of shove some of these Python in there. Alright. Boom, we're up and running. Well, we're not up and running, but we're ready to be up and running. Alright, this video is going to feature a variety of things, but we're going to start off with just a regular Windows 11 install on this guy. Bro, this took forever to dig up, because these GPUs only have DisplayPort, and I need HDMI for the freaking capture card. Oh, I know what's going on. You know what, we're going to have to do something real quick. This guy right here, this little button. And it knows if it's been opened. So I'm going to go ahead and close this thing up real quick so I don't have to hold it. I'm going to go ahead and boot into the BIOS and disable that stupid sensor. Okay, let's go ahead and go to your system configuration. Oh, we're going to turn this off. SATA operation, AHCI. Apply. We do not want RAID. Security, here we go. Chassis intrusion, I went right over it. We are going to disable. Apply. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and get a bootable Windows thumb drive. Got a Windows 11 25H2 on this big guy right here. Okay, the second we see the Dell logo, we're going to hit F12 for the boot menu. Also going to have a sip of coffee, of course. There we go. And we are going to go into UEFI boot. Windows. There we go. Kapow! It should be the Windows installer. Alrighty.
Years later.
This is kind of interesting. On NVIDIA Workstation cards, you get different options for drivers, it looks like. A conservative driver. Yeah, okay, we're just going to do the leading edge driver. Alrighty guys, now we're up into Windows. You've got our E5 1660V4, 8-core 16-thread chip, 32 gigs of some DDR4, 2400 MHz ACC. That's actually somewhat fast for chips like this. It's a 500 gig SATA SSD like you guys saw. And we're starting off with just the original GPU from this computer, the Quadro RTX 4000. Alrighty, here we are in BeamNG Drive. We're going to start off in 1080p at the Ultra preset here. I'm surprised to see nearly full GPU usage constantly. That's pretty cool. And you know what? This, nearly 100 FPS experience is quite good. I mean, there is a stutter there, but this is great. This is actually very impressive. I think I'm underestimating this card a little bit. What if I just bump it up to 1440p, make it look better? Now look at that. Yeah, we can still get 60 FPS in 1440p. And our graphics card actually very efficient. I mean, we're only like 100 watts or so. That's not bad at all. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and load up some traffic. We've got a 16-thread CPU. We're gonna do like 4 traffic cars, or 4. We're gonna do 4 parked vehicles, and then we'll run 6 actual traffic cars. Alrighty, let's see what happens when we try and load this up. Our Xeon's thinking. Alright, we got some traffic. Oh, this is pretty stuttery. Oh, here we go. It's smoothing out a little bit. Hey, still getting around 60 FPS there. Nice. Yeah, this is a very playable experience here. Really not much to complain about at all. And not really much of a CPU bottleneck at all either. I'm almost impressed by how low the power draw is on the Xeon. I mean, I would expect it to be like 100 watts right now usually. I guess this is a much lower end Xeon though. If we had, one of like the 18 core ones or something, even at this load, it would probably be pulling 3 times the power. Xeons can just do that. That graphics card is getting really toasty. It's not very loud though. It's very ignorable, honestly. I mean, if I pop off the side panel, maybe that'll actually help it. Here, let's just like find somewhere to sit for a minute. Oh, the side panel's one. They're coming down quite a lot. So it seems that even with this much better airflow scenario, we're not going to get under 80 on it or anything, but hey, an improvement is an improvement. However, it is more annoying to me because it is, facing towards me. But this is a bit of an unrealistic scenario to be using a computer like this anyway. And let's try cranking up the traffic cars. So for one, what we can do, so we have a 16-thread CPU, and this game assigns traffic cars to each thread. So I think the most it'll let you do by default. Well, yeah, the slider only goes to 12, but if I just type in 16, no, maybe not. There we go. Yeah, you can just keep on going after what the slider says. If it doesn't bug out on me like this. There we go. Now we can spawn up 16 traffic cars. This is gonna be a mess. Oh, power draw's already climbing a little bit. Oh, maybe not. I saw it hit 50 watts. Trying to go.
Yeah, I tried calling you a few times.
Did you? Now I'm back at BeamNG again, because I had to go. We're still in 1440p at the Ultra preset. See if our settings changed here. Yeah, no, still 16 traffic cars and 4 parked vehicles. I barely got to see what this did, so I'm gonna go ahead and reload those back up. Yeah, I'm seeing some pretty usual behavior in BeamNG, which is that once traffic is loaded, generally this game becomes CPU dependent. Like, no matter how good your CPU is, this game will always become CPU dependent when you load it up with traffic. Kind of surprised that this Xeon is only at like 50 watts too. This has got to be because it's just a small Xeon. I mean, this is the equivalent of like a dual core on the 4th gen platform. In terms of Xeons, because there are CPUs that will slot into the socket that have 18 cores, and those will probably pull insane amounts of power here. Yeah, this thing's actually doing like really, really well. I can get a proper, I mean, just under 60 FPS experience, which is, yeah, nothing to complain about. Now, I wanna bring this Xeon to its knees just for funsies. All right, let's do double the amount of traffic cars as we have threads here. So we'll go up to 32. Let's see what happens. This is gonna be wild. Still haven't seen the Xeon break 50 watts, oddly enough. Yeah, these roads are gonna be insanely crowded. Oh my goodness, we're getting 1 FPS right now. Alright, this is at least supposed to be 32 traffic cars. I don't see a lot of cars. We're also getting less than 30 FPS a lot of the time. Oh, and our Xeon has finally broken 50 watts. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is a lot of traffic. It's amazing that the Xeon still is only pulling like less than 60 watts. Dang, dude, this is actually kind of sick, honestly. I mean, 30 FPS, it's not great, but you know, it's playable. Also, I love how our graphics card is now, you know, barely above half usage just because our CPU is so tied up with all of the traffic cars and stuff. Alrighty, that's enough BeamNG in this configuration. Right, here we are in Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to start off here in 1080p, and then we'll go to the low preset and disable upscaling like you just saw. So no ray tracing or anything. 1080p low. Maybe I'm underestimating this GPU a little bit, but yeah, we're actually mostly CPU dependent here. You can see, yeah, people forget how CPU intensive this game can be. Because I mean, everybody's always talking about ray tracing, path tracing, all of the features that are in this game. But this game is incredibly CPU intensive. It's kind of wild, honestly. So yeah, I mean, as this thing is a 20 series card, I am not very hopeful. Here we can try bumping up to 1080p high with no upscaling. I mean, it's probably going to land us really similar performance. Wow, okay, it looks a lot better. And the performance really hasn't changed a whole lot. What, we lost like 10 FPS, if even. I mean, you can still tell that it's all rasterized, but this game still looks amazing even with no ray tracing. I must say that I am not digging the 1080p here. Let's try bumping it up to 1440, but I'm not very hopeful on that one. There. Okay, well, it looks a lot better, but now we're down to like 40 FPS. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for this GPU, isn't it? Let's try a little bit of DLSS. Let's do the older model. And we'll do DLSS quality. Oh, there we go. Now we're just under 60 FPS. Alrighty guys, I am very, very frustrated. I've had so many issues with recording. I recorded some Doom Eternal testing, and the capture footage in OBS got totally messed up. It's not OBS's fault. There's just something weird going on with my cables, and the footage from my phone is just like totally corrupted and gone. So Doom Eternal performed very well. I mean, it's a real optimized game, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on. I don't even know how much usable footage I have. I haven't gone through everything now. I'm kind of scared, honestly. Alrighty guys, so it's about time that we put a more powerful GPU in there so I can really see what this Xeon is capable of. Now, I am quite annoyed. I've been trying to boot into Windows Recovery for a little while, and I was not able to, and my Elgato kept on saying that it was trying to go at a unsupported resolution. I don't know. What I would imagine is that the, you know, display ports on this are capable of incredibly high resolutions, and maybe it's trying to display the Windows Recovery menu at like something insanely high. And I even tried like plugging this graphics card straight into the monitor, you know, just skipping the capture card, and that didn't work. So hopefully I can get into the recovery menu with this guy, so I can boot into safe mode and properly get rid of the NVIDIA drivers, because we are going to throw in this 6750 XT. I love the look of these Quadro cards. They look so cool. That looks so cursed. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and plug in the 8-pin. and then plug in one of the 6 pins. There we go. I had a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter hooked up, and I mean this adapter functions, but it's kind of cheap. Like at 4K I can only do 50 hertz over it. It's kind of weird. So since I can use HDMI right now, I'm going to. It's one of the few times where I'm going to be purposely preferring HDMI over DisplayPort. Alrighty, I'm going to spare you guys the time. I got booted up and managed to get into Windows Recovery, booted into safe mode, used DDU to clear the old driver, and then installed the AMD drivers. And so I'll just drop you guys straight into the tests and save you guys all that time. Here we are in BeamNG with the 6750 XT. We're going to do 1440p at the Ultra preset to start off. I'm just kind of curious with, how this CPU can keep up with much higher end GPUs. So even in 1440p Ultra, we do seem to be mildly CPU dependent. Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised about that one. And we're getting some stutters here and there, some hitches, I should say. But yeah, I mean, hey, now it seems to be starting to get better. Ooh, ooh, oh, good lord. Okay, I wonder if I bump up to like 4K, if it'll become GPU dependent. Oh yeah, graphics card is pinned. Oh, not quite. Yeah, okay, 98-99%. That's full usage, definitely. So yeah. This CPU can keep up if you're gonna do 4K gaming. But okay, this is actually insane to me though, that I'm doing like 4K, almost 60 FPS gaming out of a freaking Dell Precision right now. This is wild. Actually, okay, I can make this 4K 60 really easily. Here, look. Let's change over to FXAA. You're going to turn down the dynamic reflections a lot because those are very intensive in this game. We're going to turn off detailed mirrors. We're going to put the shadows visibility to partial and then mesh quality to like normal. And now we seem to be getting pretty close to 60 FPS there. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, this is wild to get 4K 60 FPS gaming out of an old Dell Workstation. All it needed was a couple $100 GPU and we're good to go. Alrighty guys, here we are, back in Cyberpunk. Yeah, we're gonna just do 1440p, Ultra preset, FSR quality. Let's see. We are mildly CPU bound, as one would expect. Dang, yeah, our CPU usage is actually pretty high too. Now we're heavily CPU bound right there, huh? Let's try doing some ray tracing. Let's do ray tracing medium with FSR quality. Okay, and we're back to being almost entirely GPU dependent. Nice. What's up with that guy? Ooh. Alrighty, now let's try making this game totally CPU dependent. Let's go down to 1080p, and then we are going to do FSR performance. Alright, yep, now the game, well, it looks it looks pretty bad, but it's also very, very CPU dependent, as you can tell. Dang, that's wild. I mean, I have an SSD, so I'm gonna try driving around actually, because driving around in this game is incredibly intensive. Our CPU brushed 80% there. Yeah, it's almost up to 80% when I'm driving around and stuff. That's crazy. Let's see if we get any more giant hitches like that. Yeah, let's just go back to Ultra with FSR performance, 1080p. It's a bit more lookable, honestly. Yeah, I think we've kind of gone through all of our hitching, haven't we? Hey, I must say the CPU is actually handling the game quite well. Alright, this is enough Cyberpunk by a long shot. Ooh, that was fun though. Here we are back in Doom Eternal. We're in 1440p with the Ultra Nightmare preset, and in classic Doom Eternal fashion, we're getting an absolutely wild frame rate. And we are actually GPU dependent, surprisingly enough. This old Xeon is putting up, like, it's a very, very impressive fight. Genuinely, I'm very impressed. I mean, I wouldn't want to daily drive this, but like, dang, it's actually really surprising. Okay. Let's make this an actual test of the CPU though. Let's go ahead and drop down to 1080p. We'll go down to the low settings and we'll see. Bring for what kind of FPS we get, and hopefully Hopefully we become CPU dependent. Oh yeah, we are definitely CPU dependent now. Why can't I move? Here. Yeah, we are quite CPU dependent, and we're getting a few hundred FPS. Yeah, Doom Eternal is just so well optimized. Like, this game isn't ancient. I mean, it's not a new game, but this is like, I think it's like 2019 or something. This is insane that it can actually run this good. Yeah, alrighty, that's enough for this configuration in the system. Alrighty guys, here I am. I'm gonna have to go do more real life stuff soon. Ugh. But before I go, I'm going to test a theory of mine, because I am about to be very frustrated if my theory is true. This guy, I gotta put this card back in its home. So here's my theory. It is potentially very, very sad. I think Dell doesn't want you to put a GPU up here. Let me get a good light in here. So you can see that the slot up at the top, it's got this guy right here. And that thing sticks out actually quite far. I'm almost like 99% sure that they did that crap on purpose. Because here, if you have a GPU, like one of these guys with the thingy on it, and you go for the top slot, of course that happens, you know, where it hits over there. But I think the GPU's definitely got to hit against that. I might just have to pull out the shroud then, even though I don't really want to. But I'm also going to have to pull off this thing, which has some torque screws on it, annoyingly enough. I don't get why these needed to be Torx, but whatever, NVIDIA. Whatever. There we go. It looks so weird without it now. Now I can pull out the little slot filler doohickey. And actually I can put it in this slot right here. Just instantly. Because nothing's going in there by one slot. But yeah, this is definitely not going to work. Yep. Ugh, that shroud's going to have to come out. Well, I'll have to do that later. Alrighty guys, it has now been a couple of days. Oh, I had a lot of stuff to do. I'm going to go ahead and get one of the P4000s put in here and get drivers figured out. See, I just put a splitter on. There we go. I decided not to include this in the video, but I spent like a day troubleshooting display adapters. I have a bunch of footage. I'm just not going to throw it in, but know that just getting the thing to be seen by my capture card took like a day, but we got there. Alrighty guys, here we are. We've now got the newest NVIDIA driver installed here with our Quadro P4000. We're going to start off with a single Quadro P4000, and then I am going to try just adding each card, one card at a time as we go. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and load up a Blender project. So this is just an old project of mine. And we're going to see just how usable Blender is. So of course in the I forget what these modes are called. I believe this is called like Workbench or something. And in whatever mode this is, it's very usable because there's practically no load on the system once everything is loaded. However, let's go ahead and switch it over to Eve, and then we're going to do a little bit of live rendering here. So yeah, just doing some simple live rendering is actually very, very usable. This is perfectly fine. No problems here. If I step it up a notch, up to the proper live render in Eve, I obviously wouldn't want to do everything this way, but it is still very, very usable. And if you were just trying to, you know, place a light in the right spot, you know, this would be plenty usable to get all that placement right. Now let's try doing live rendering with cycles. So of course this isn't going to change, but this is, and yeah, this is quite slow. Oh man, wow. Let's go to our camera view. Good gravy. I'm going to keep these settings as is, just as they were when I loaded up this project, so that way we can keep things nice and consistent. And I'm going to render this, and we're going to see how long it takes on just one P4000. And I must say, the fact that this is what we're looking at makes me not incredibly hopeful. However, things can speed up as they go, but I will come back when this render is complete and I have the official render time. Alrighty guys, the render has completed. It took it 27 minutes and 55 seconds, so now we can go ahead and move on. Alright, I've got the system shut down. Let's go ahead and just put this guy in the second X16 slot. So these cards should both be able to get full PCIe X16 bandwidth. But once we add more than these two cards, the bandwidth could become limited. But I doubt it's going to make a huge difference, to be fair. Alright, this is actually like so sick looking though. I don't know what's so cool about multiple GPUs to me, but this is just like the coolest thing in the world for some reason. Like the power cable splitting like that just looks so sick. Alright, let's go ahead and plug in our power cable and get booted up. Oh, it's booting. This looks weird though. I'm not used to seeing the Windows logo. Have I booted into safe mode or something? No, this looks normal. Okay, seems things are taking a moment. Does our second P4000 show up in Task Manager? It does not. Okay, this is weird. Let's go to the NVIDIA app. Do I need to like reinstall drivers or something? Oh. Now does it see it? Nope. Okay, let's see if the NVIDIA app will... I was gonna say we'll see if the NVIDIA app will see it. Oh. Okay, maybe now. Because clearly it's gotta be doing something to do with the graphics cards. Oh goodness. Alrighty, now let's check. There we go. Boom. Both of our beautiful P4000s. Alrighty, let's go ahead and just hit recover last session. I think we're going to have to select our second GPU in here. No, both of our Quandros have been selected. Nice. Alrighty. It just seems to only be using one, which is kind of odd to me. I mean, maybe if I go to like full cycles, it'll use both. There we go. Now it's loading up both. Okay, so I guess it'll just only use both when it needs to. And you know what? Actually, it does seem quite a lot better. All right, let's go over to Eve. Oh, it's only using one GPU. But then if I go to cycles, it'll use both cards. And it actually makes it like quite a bit faster. That's interesting. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and run a render and we will see what it'll do. We'll also make sure that it's actually using both cards. Oh yeah, it's loading up both cards a lot. Well, I'll come back when the benchmark is complete. Dude, the render's done, and it only took like 15 minutes. Previously it took 27 minutes and 55 seconds. And now we're significantly under 16 minutes. Literally shaved like over 10 minutes off of our time. That's awesome. I guess multi-GPU scaling with Blender is actually really, really good. Though it is unfortunate that this was like the only thing that I can really test with. So, alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and put a third P4000 in there. And we'll see what happens. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and chuck in a third P4000 right at the bottom. Gonna go right under this bottom card. And I think this is gonna cause airflow problems, but whatever, who cares. Oh, you know what? It could be a lot worse. Can't really see what I'm doing though. There we go. Now that I've actually got it in there all the way, there is enough gap where like we don't have to worry about shorting or anything, at least I don't think. Let's get some bright light on that so I can really see what's going on. Oh yeah, we're good. Here, let me show you guys what I'm looking at. So I mean, I would want the gap to be larger for the sake of airflow, but like we don't have to worry about that shorting or anything. It'll do just fine. So alrighty, let's go ahead and get our PCIe power plug in. And hopefully this doesn't do the thing that it was doing last time. Hopefully we're able to boot up perfectly fine. But we will see. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and give the power button a smack. Oh yes, we're booting. Oh my gosh, dude, this is freaking wild. Triple P4000s, 24 gigs of VRAM. Ugh. And only 300 watts. You know, which for 3 graphics cards, I mean, that's considerably low. Alrighty, I'm assuming that drivers are going to have to do all their things. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait for the drivers to figure themselves out. Alrighty, we're back in Blender with our third P4000 now added. Dang, why did I really get so messed up? Okay. So let's go ahead and even like with Eve, it's not gonna help us here. It's still only gonna do like 1 GPU. Yeah. So we really only get multi-GPU when we use cycles. So let's go ahead and let up cycles. Let's make sure that Blender is aware of what it's got available to it. Yep, they're all 3 selected. So if we click on cycles, oh, yeah, you can see, yep, it's using all 3 cards. And it does actually seem to be going quite a bit faster, from what I can tell. Like these renders are not very polished at all. They're going to look bad. But it does seem to, yeah, it's getting to that final point very quickly now. There, it's done. Done. Already. Okay. So cycles is much more usable. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and do our render. And I'm also kind of curious to see if the second GPU is going to be super hot, because it's kind of like sandwiched right over another graphics card. Huh. It's not really. Okay, there it goes. It's starting to pick up a little bit. It's not touching the third GPU a whole lot. So yeah, it's kind of alternating between what GPUs are super heavily loaded and which ones aren't. That's kind of strange. There aren't any outliers in temperature, at least not by a lot. I mean, there's one is starting to form there with GPU 2, but there we go. See, now every card is getting way up there. Oh yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'll come back when this render is done, and we'll see how quickly it ran. Alrighty guys, our render finished, and it's down to 11 minutes and 5 seconds on 3 GPUs, from 15 minutes and 37 seconds on 2, and 27 minutes and 55 seconds on 1. So this is, I mean, the difference is of course much smaller going from 2 to 3 than from 1 to 2, but this is still genuinely, really impressive. So I doubt that adding the 4th card is going to make a huge difference, but it would be cool to see it get under 10 minutes on this render. It would be really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck that 4th card in there. Alrighty guys, so MSI Afterburner really didn't know what to do with our new GPU, so I've just kind of omitted that now. Let's go ahead and we're gonna do our live cycles test and just see how it runs. Well, it's not much faster than it was before, but no, actually, yeah, it's pretty similar to how it was. But you know what? Let's go ahead and just run our render. There's not a whole lot of testing for me to do anyway. So, alrighty, I'll come back when the render is complete. I don't know how much it's going to use this 4th GPU, especially because now we're probably going to be running into some severe PCIe bottlenecks. You know, even though we probably were running into those before quite heavily, I think they're going to become very apparent now. But yeah. Alrighty guys, well as you can see, we managed to do a 9-minute render, so a very small improvement of only a few minutes it seems. Yeah, literally an improvement of like 2 minutes. But, I mean, an improvement is an improvement. However, this is definitely not worth it, especially because we had to take out that shroud and take out the you know, CD and DVD drive holder and everything. So, you know, there was a trade-off there. And This is a really fun experiment, and I'm gonna go ahead and try out some weird configurations just for funsies. Alrighty guys, so I did play around with more configurations, like I said I would. I've just decided that I'm not going to include it in the video because we're at like 35 minutes already, and also I'm not really interested in editing the footage, so I'll just talk about it. The RTX 4000 paired with two P4000s managed to do like an 8.5 minute render, which is pretty impressive, but I mean, nothing crazy. At home, I would not recommend doing it that way. You're better off just getting two RTX 4000s or like three P4000s or something rather than trying to mix and match GPUs like that, honestly. But yeah, with that, I love y'all. See ya.